Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 4 is Investigate This, Scourge of the Scarecrow.
Scourge.
Scourge of the Scourge?
Scourge. Scourge. Yeah, Scourge.
Is it Scourge? Yeah, I spoke about it last week. I played the demo and was really intrigued by it. I've played through the whole game from beginning to end now, and I have to say it's very difficult to recommend. The first portion that they give you in the demo is... there's hardly any gameplay in it at all, and from the creators' previous games, I assumed that was because the last one I played, Bureau Shattered Slipper, there was a gunfight in that. There was this bit where you had to uncover all this. It was gamey. There was a lot of different genres, but it was a game. This, for 90 to 95% of its time, is you're looking at still screens with subtitles, maybe 85%. And there's hardly any gameplay, and the gameplay that is there is just kind of cursory, and it doesn't have any bearing on anything. For example, the main gameplay that there is that you're these two detectives and you're investigating this woman who's being harassed by this spectre of a scarecrow. And inevitably she's selling a house. Who's doing it? Why? Does it have anything to do with the house sale? All that sort of stuff. It's pretty much as you'd expect. But you have this couple. I don't think they're together. It's a male and a female detective. They have this interactive to-do list, so you can just assign detectives to each thing. But it only allows you to assign one detective to some and then two to the other. But basically, it's not really. You have no control over it. If there's, you have two options. One, assign person A, or the other option is assign both of them together. You have to assign both of them together, so only on one occasion can you assign them both separately. But it's literally you're sitting there looking at a screen, and it's the guy's a very good animator, and I think that's the thing. He primarily he's a computer animator, and he's done these. It's one of the best looking games on the Xbox Live because it looks like FMV. There are some FMV sequences, but by and large it's just digitally created human beings in freeze frame with dialogue on the bottom. And the problem with having freeze frames and dialogue as text is that it's incredibly cheap to do that, so it really hangs around. And when you wanted the story to get moving, they throw in Monty Python references, and someone will say, "Oh, that's a Monty Python reference," and they go, "Yeah," and then they do a Star Trek reference, and it's like it clearly created by one of the geekiest people alive, and that's fine. But it slowed down a story that could have been. The thing lasts probably about the length of a movie, maybe a little bit longer, and the whole time you're just pressing one button, skipping through. It is likeable because it's so idiosyncratic, and there's something I do still find it quite thrilling that something that completely bizarre, off the wall, and singular can be beamed straight to my console on the other side of the planet. But it's not. It's hard to recommend as a game. I think it's the weird problem is that somebody who likes detective stories and who would never ever dream of having a console in their home could really like this. But it's weird. I like the fact that it exists, but I can't recommend it because it's really, really. There's no care in the storytelling. It is a story. There's not a lot of stuff you can do to interact with it, but it just gets tedious because there's no fucking brevity. So it goes off on digressions that are unnecessary, and the conversation's very lackadaisical. I'd like to be able to recommend it, but I'm afraid I can't.
Okay. I'll never play that game. Is it a visual novel?
Basically, yes, but there are some cursory gameplay elements thrown in.
Right.
It's just that I wanted to like it because it was so... The guy that made it clearly doesn't care what anyone thinks, and there's something really bracing about that, as I've said in the past, especially about Assassin's Creed 3, not that was one person, but still, when you have a vision and you're just dedicated to sort of fulfilling that's exciting. But this, it's I spent an hour and a half flipping through reading text of not particularly well written dialogue, a mystery that wasn't particularly mysterious, and I wanted to big it up, but unfortunately I can't. I am going to go back to his previous games though, because they seem a bit more gamey anyway.
A bit more gamey, yeah. I do struggle with the whole visual novel concept. I know some people dig it. Obviously, it's massively dependent on the quality of the writing.
Yeah,
but
true.
Even then, if I've got a controller in my hand or a mouse or whatever, fucking move. I want to be gaming. I think That's me. I'm not trying to set rules for the world.
Yeah.